What's up, family? We here. We here. Well, I'm here. um, I'll say that. Uh, I'm a half an hour late, but that is okay. I know I didn't post a reminder this morning. Um, Bear with me. I keep speaking as if. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations. Once again, I'm your host, Mark D. First of all, I want to say blessed new year to the family. Um, Last year was hectic on all fronts for most of us. But we got through 2020. We got through. We got through as a family. Um, and like I said, closing out last year, family, I love and appreciate everybody that rocked with me. Um, this year is just going to be bigger and better on all fronts. But like I always do, before I get into the topic, let me do this. Here we go. Before we get into the topic, giving a shout out to my sister as always, Aries Owens. Aries Owens. Always big up in her. I'm so happy and proud for her and the things that she's doing. For those who don't know and those who don't follow her, she's also a hairstylist. Um, so I mean, if you're in the northeast central Ohio area, look her up. I'm always, suggesting to the family to go and follow her. You can follow her here on Facebook. You can follow her over on IG as well. Also, giving a shout out to the homie Gary Crenshaw and his endeavors over there in Hayden, in East Cleveland, Ohio, at the G Spot Car Wash and Detailing Center. So go and check them out. Um, Also, giving a shout out to myself and the big homie Rodney Dukes at Polish 'em Off Detail and Ceramic Center out in North Ridgeville, Ohio. So if you're looking to get your car detailed, we also have an accessory building. So if you're looking to get your car detailed, paint correction, paint restoration, if you're looking for ceramic coating to protect that beautiful luster paint on your vehicle, reach out to us. And we'll get your car right as close to looking new as humanly possible. Because some of y'all got some nasty cars, but y'all come check us out, and I promise y'all we'll get you right. Also, like I said, we have an accessory building because we have two buildings on the premises. Our second building, we do window tinting. We do audio installation. We do running boards. We do remote starts. So we staying in our lane. We found our lane. We staying in it, and that's what we gonna do. And then also, the music artist, my sister, at Naya Marie over on IG. Go and follow her as well. Also, the young homie Marshawn Mitch. Go and check him out on IG as well at Marshawn underscore music underscore page. I believe that's it. If I get it wrong, my apologies. Just look him up, Marshawn Lynch. All right, so jumping into it. What in your life have you manifested out of your ego, fears, and insecurities? I know a lot of people are they talk about manifestation, manifest what you want. What is it? uh, calling things out, just saying what you want out of life and putting the time and effort to manifest it. But here's the thing. I rarely hear people talk about the other side because when you know when you don't know who you are, when you don't know who you are on the light side and on the shadow side, um, a lot of spiritualists will tell you, if you don't do the shadow work, then how then can you be whole? Because I think a lot of times what we do, if you ask anyone, you know, what is your best qualities or characteristics, that's easy to do. But then when you ask that same individual, um, what makes you a poor, what are some of your poorest, characteristics, of concerning who you are, a lot of people have a excuse me, a lot of people have a hard time with that. And I think because, especially when it comes to society, what we oftentimes do, and it's just a human trait, is that we always put our best foot forward. We rarely speak the truth of us as a whole individual because I don't think that most of us are whole. I think that we portray to be whole, and so a lot of our standards um, are oftentimes based in ego, to protect our sensitive ego, to protect our sensitive pride. It's also fears. You hear a lot of people say what they're not going to deal with, but the way the universe and the way the Almighty work, it doesn't care about what you say that you're not going to deal with. Because if that is part of your life lesson, then what is going to be manifested in your life is that exact thing that you refuse to deal with, that you refuse to heal from, that you refuse to acknowledge. And that very thing, the universe is going to challenge you and charge you to deal with that said thing. And that oftentimes can be one of the most difficult things to deal with. I'm always saying that people, whether it be your coworkers, if you're a entrepreneur, if it's your employees, if it's family, friends, those that you are in intimate relationships with, they mirror back to you who and what you are. And I know that people don't like to deal with that. People don't like to come to that realization that this person or this individual is in my life to teach me a lesson or to teach me about me. That's a difficult task. That's a difficult pill to swallow. But nevertheless, ask yourself, what are you learning about yourself? Because self-preservation is always at the forefront of our minds as human beings. I don't care who you are. I don't care what religion you practice. I don't care what form of spirituality you practice. What is in the forefront of our mind is self-preservation at all costs. And oftentimes that self-preservation leads us to lie intentionally or unintentionally. And so because it becomes so easy to lie at times to other individuals, because the question that I pose to you is, what lies are you telling yourself about yourself because you don't want to deal with you? And what we don't realize is that we are the common denominator. In all situations, in all lessons to be learned, we are the common denominator. What we attract, we are the common denominator. What we manifest, we are the common denominator. So it's not more so, it's not the toxic attributes or characteristics that other people bring to you more so that they are showing you in some way, shape, or form the toxicity that lies within yourself. So they are there to reveal unto you who you truly are. And like I said, family, that is an extremely hard and oftentimes most difficult pill to swallow. Because we can be an antagonist, and then when people respond to us being antagonists, then we want to play victim. We want to verbally abuse people, and then when they respond to our abuse, or to our nitpicking ways, then oftentimes what happens is we play the victim mode after they lash back at us. But they're trying to get us to deal with ourselves. There's something in us that attracted that individual to us. But I mean, why is that so hard to deal with? Why is that so hard to acknowledge? Because when we just go off of statistics, and when we go off of numbers, and when we take the emotional and the feeling aspect out of it, the bottom line is your relationships failed for a reason. And it ain't always them. It ain't always the other individual. Sometimes, or a lot of times, it could be you. You are the problem. But it's easy to point fingers. You're the problem. And so having, I always bring topics and different things based on individual conversations that I've had with other individuals. And this particular, I was going to do a different topic, but I'm going to bring that topic to front on Friday evening. For those who missed the last show, this year we're going to 2 shows a week. Tuesdays will be on Facebook, and Friday evenings will be on YouTube. So, but like I was saying, family, what are you manifesting in your life? What are you manifesting in your life? Because who you are and what you are is going to be attracted to you. So stop lying to yourself, saying that you're something and you're not, because everything that is attracted to you is garbage, is bullshit. You're attracting liars, you're attracting manipulators, because somewhere in your life you are lying to yourself. So just deal with it. Deal with you. Stop being so concerned about other individuals, and when the saying, when they show you who they are, believe them. But how about when they show you who you are, believe them? Because they're in your life for a reason. We We are supernatural beings having a human being experience. So the divine doesn't have to prove anything to itself, but yet it reveals itself unto itself. So when you get into a place where you stop being egotistical, when you stop allowing fears, when you stop allowing your insecurities to build your standards and expectations, then you become consciously self and God aware. So in 2020, let's stop with all the bullshit. How would you compare that with gaslighting? I mean, gaslighting, it can go different ways. You can gaslight where it's like passive aggressive. And I know a lot of people who do that. I know a lot of people who passively aggressively gaslight because they're looking to get a specific reaction out of you. You know, it's one thing to challenge someone without ill intent versus poking and prodding at someone to, to get a particular reaction so that you can have confirmation based on your biases. Because we all have some type of bias and we're looking for confirmation to confirm that bias, i.e. confirmation bias. So somewhere in our lives, we all have some type form of gaslighting that we do. Not being your true self. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And see, wow. I always give numbers, and you can agree and or disagree. I always say it gives me no never mind. But in my opinion, I say about 90% of people will never be their true self. Never. Because everyone's concerned about what someone thinks or feels about them. Everyone is concerned if I say this, if I do this. So let me not, do this or say this because I don't, whatever response that individual is going to give me, I don't want it, so I'm just going to leave it alone, and I always tell people, don't ask if you really don't want to know. Because if you really want to know, if you're really mature, then ask the question. And I always tell people it's not how many questions you ask, but it's the quality of the question that you ask. Because you can ask 50 questions and still not get a proper answer. And I say proper, I use proper loosely, and not get the proper answer because you didn't ask the right question. So the questions that we often ask can be considered gaslighting because we're beating around the bush. And oftentimes because we ask more questions than the right question, knowing that it might agitate someone, can be considered gaslighting. So that requires some deep emotional, mental, and spiritual work. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. See, and a lot of us have grown up in the religious sect. And Oftentimes, religion doesn't teach spiritual work, because spiritual work, it's like a parent. Real spiritual work, and whoever your mentor or teacher is, it is the same as being a parent. When your child or when your children get to a certain level of maturity, you start relinquishing them. And so in spiritual work, as a mentor and as a leader, it is my job to get you to the place of interdependency. But oftentimes, and even sometimes, even in spirituality, do not get me wrong, just because I point out religious sects. Even in spirituality, oftentimes teachers, mentors, and mentors, they raise us up to always be codependent. And true inner spirituality, it doesn't allow space for that. It doesn't allow space for that. So when we get to the place of where we are truly in a spiritually conscious, aware, and awakened mindset, then it is our job to question everything that we believe to be true. And that is a difficult task. And I'm not telling you something that I have not experienced or gone through myself. Having a real spiritual awakening to the point where you trust the God within, the Almighty, the divine, the creator within, whatever you decide to call it. When you get to the place where you trust that, then you go to your mentor and you go to your leaders as counsel. You're not hanging on to their every word, because a lot of times being in ministry, myself in the past, we often taught scripture from our experiences, and then we taught that this is the only way, this is true. And what happens oftentimes is that those that we're teaching, because we're teaching in absolutes, if their experience and their walk doesn't align with our personal beliefs and experiences, it can throw them off. It can throw them off. And see, and that is not the place. One of the things that one of the areas that I have matured in is that I give, when people ask me questions and when I converse with other people, I give them information, and it's for them to do with it as they will. And if it comes up to where the conversation forgoes me to share my personal experience, I will say that this is my experience. This is what I have experienced. And I say it all the time on the show. I don't speak in absolutes. And the reason being is that when one takes their personal experience, oftentimes we force that experience on the other people, and we demonize them if they don't follow what we told them. We demonize them. And your spiritual walk is not my spiritual walk. My spiritual walk is not your spiritual walk. How you get a revelation of the Almighty is on you. Is on you. And we have to stop trying to force our belief systems on other individuals, because a lot of times our belief systems were born out of hurt and pain. It was not a decision that we've gathered information or we had an enlightening moment and we say that this is the decision and this is the direction that I'm going to go in my life. We don't do that. When a lot of times when we're at our lowest moments, when we've fallen from grace, and then we sit up here, and then what makes us feel good, what makes us feel empowered, what makes us feel what makes us feel encouraged, then that's what we go with. That's what we go with. And then what it does is, see, the power of the mind is that whatever you believe is true. That's the power of the mind. That's the way the mind works. So what you believe to be true, that's what you're going to manifest. See, when we really want to go into it, even the biblical scriptures say, so a man thinketh, so is he. So if your fears are based out of egoic tendencies, if your insecurities are creating your reality, then that's what you're going to manifest. If your fears are creating your reality, that's what you're going to manifest. The fear of not experiencing what you've experienced in the past. So, you call yourself protecting yourself, but then you wonder why everything that you're afraid of just it's like a leech. It just sucks right onto you because that's what you're manifesting. See, I told the family going out of last year, I'm here to challenge you. I'm not here to sit up here and pander to you. I'm not here to sit up here and sit up here and give you some type of feel good. I'm here to challenge you. And one of the things that is my purpose. That is my purpose. You know, and if you have people around you that are scared to be honest with you, then they're not doing you any favors. They're not doing you any favors. So this is why oftentimes our inner circle protects our egoic tendencies. It protects our fears. It protects our insecurities. That's why when we say, oh, you know what? I fit right in with this group. Well, yeah, you do. But can you say that you fit in with the group because y'all hold each other to an accountability standard that's going to challenge all those ideologies that you have? Not trying to convert you to anything. And I think oftentimes a lot of our conversations is to try and convert one another. How about having a conversation where we share our experiences with one another and we share the information that we've gathered throughout the years, and we share our challenges and our pains, you know, and we share those things because of an accountability standard. Because if you say this is who you are, those of our inner circle, those we have an intimate relationship with, and those who are honest and truthful with us is going to pull us on the carpet and be like, first of all, let's stop here because that's not who you are. Because now you're portraying something and you trying to get confirmation for your bullshit. Let's stop it right here. You know, so you have to get your own understanding and relationship with your spirit. Yes. And I am always advocating for that. I'm always advocating for that. And this is why I'm always challenging and suggesting to people, you know, question what you believe in and why you believe in it. Do you believe in it because this is how you were raised? you know, question, the truth and validity in what you believe in. Because you got to, I think what we fail to realize at times is that anything written by man is their perspective. So it's going to be some truth. It may not be your truth, which will be considered a lie to you. So people come over, and I've said it before, people come over and they look at my book collection and, they ask, well, why are you reading that? For information and knowledge, because what I've been told about this has demonized it. But then when I read the book and I gathered information, what we've been told about it, that's not what it's about. So in doing that, what oftentimes happen, and understand, family, I'm not challenging your beliefs if it works for you. But one of the things that is said, one of the definitions of insanity is doing the same things and expecting a different result. So if you continue to do the same thing, if you continue to practice the same form of religion, if you continue to practice the same form of spirituality, and you've been practicing it and it's not working, then why continue to do it? Maybe you need a change. But that's between you and your God. That's between you and your God. And your spiritual process and your spiritual maturity and where you are within your process and your level of spirituality. That's on you. Like I said, I don't speak in absolutes. Because what works for me may not work for you. So how can I tell you that this is the only way to reveal God within itself? How can I look at you and say, you know what, your revelation of God is wrong? How can I say that? And when you understand that what the Bible says, that my word shall not return unto me void. So, and because we were made in the image and likeness of God, so therefore we all have a piece of God in us. So therefore, what comes out of our mouths has to manifest. And because oftentimes we're thinking that, oh, okay, because we live in this microwave society and we want everything to happen upon request. But we don't understand that when we speak it, that is a seed being planted. And every time the thought enters our mind, or every time that we speak upon that seed that we've been planted, we're watering that seed. So we have to understand that as a farmer, when you plant a seed and you water that seed, it grows roots. So you have to go back and not only pull the seed up, but you have to pull it up by the roots. Because if you don't pull it up by the roots, what you are doing is that you're leaving it behind so it can grow another bud. And then you wonder why 5-10 years down the line, how that seed has grown into a tree. It's because you never uprooted it. All you did was cut it off at the base. You didn't go back and re-till the land and pull the seed and pull the roots up. Are you truly tapping into the spirit? That's a great question. That's a great question. Are you truly tapping into the spirit? And you know what? Oftentimes, I've even had conversations with people, with individuals, and when, like I said, it goes back to the conforming, in conversation. Because if your spirit tap doesn't look like my spirit tap, then your spirit tapping is incorrect. And now you forego and demean and demonize my process. And this is why I learned from a couple of my mentors to even, when you go back and, for those who follow the show, I've made it a point to oppose the topic as a question so that you may answer so you may answer and be accountable for the answer yourself. Because I don't have to live with you. You have to live with yourself. You are the only person that you can't escape. You can't escape you. So we can tell everybody anything that they want to hear that's going to soothe them, or that's going to get them to like us, or that's going to get them to conform to our team. We can tell them anything. But that doesn't benefit us. And I'm not saying don't be empathetic. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. We all have our own spiritual and life process. We all do. And I always tell people that I have no problem with what you believe in, if it is truly making you a better individual. If what you believe to be true is making you a better individual, and it's challenging your ideologies, and challenging your belief systems, within itself, more power to you. More power to you. Because every belief, every ideology, you can find divinity and you can find evil in it. The measure is based on each individual. What your level of divinity may not be my level of divinity. What my level of evil may not be your level of evil. Folks complain about things not manifesting, but they aren't doing the work. Yes, 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 yes. That work, man. You know what, sis? As a collective, we don't want to work. We don't want to work. We don't. We think that in relationships, a significant other is supposed to come already completed, already through their life's process, already through their life's work. And then we have the audacity and the naivete to tell them, accept them how I am. This is who I am. If you don't like it, then you can go. But we expect them to come to us completed. We don't want to do the work. And then once a goal is completed or reached, then we don't want to maintain it. We don't want to maintain it. And on every level of every relationship, you have to sacrifice something. You have to sacrifice something. You have to ask yourself, is it worth it? For what you want, is it worth it? Are you worth it? Because I know a lot of us, we would like to believe that we're worth what we're asking for, but are we truly worth it? Because some of us aren't. Some of us aren't what we're looking for, or what we desire, or what we are putting in the universe to manifest. And the universe knows that we're not worth it or we're not ready for it, so it doesn't allow it to come. And then on the flip side, more than likely, we probably had it. We might have had what we're looking for, but because it didn't fit our expectations, it didn't fit our egoic standards, it didn't fit our fear-based ideologies, or it wasn't there to protect our insecurities. So we said that we couldn't do this. So we let it go. Because see, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And then we get mad if and or when the person, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a friendship, whether it's an intimate partner, whether it's a significant other, then we let them go, and we see them blow up, whatever. And then we get mad because we didn't want to till the soil. We didn't want to nurture the seed. We didn't want to water the seed. And then we get mad when someone else reaps the harvest of the produce that we planted. Like, you ego-driven mofo. Because it's all about you. I've asked men and women, do you know the type of person that you want? Do you know what they want? Do you know what they want? We expect them to complete us. Unfair. They're highly unfair. Can nobody complete you but you? And within your completion, other individuals can come and enhance that completion, but no one can complete you. That is an unfair assessment. And like you said, sis, that is totally unfair. That's that, like, just like the famous saying, you should make me happy. How am I supposed to make you happy if you're already unhappy? That's why I said these societal standards have gotten our relationships so far off track. So far off track. Now we're in competition with one another instead of loving on one another and building with one another, especially Black relationships. Like, we're at war with one another. For what? And then society perpetuates the handful of people who are at war in their relationship as if that is a general census. The mean people don't even know who they are. They don't. They don't, bruh. They don't. The meme said people out here dating the female's body and male's wallet. Oh, that's very true. That's very true. I mean, because based on societal's norms, that is the currency of today's market. And whether we like it or not, generally speaking, that is today's norm. That is today's norm. And this is why you have what sayings that because see you before I continue, because I don't want to lose my place in today's society. There's no there's no more. Uh, um, the relationship is not spiritual anymore. There's no spiritual growth within the relationship, and a man's wallet determines his how much he's worth. In a woman's body, and naturally when it comes to men, when we get down to the semantics of it, yes, men like pretty. Men like when we look at you, in our mind we have a preconceived notion on what it's going to be like. That, I mean, not even spiritual. That's just the natural state of a man. We look at a woman and be like, oh, she got a fat tail. I wonder how that yoni feel. I wonder what that mouth do. That's just a natural, preconceived, questionable notion. And then based on how a man dressed, what it said that you can tell how a man takes care of himself by, the quality of his shoes. How well he keep his shoes clean, how well he keep his shoes up, how he dresses, how he moves, what he has. Because naturally a woman is looking for security. But we can go all the way in depth until we begin to speak spiritually. Because looks fade, money comes and money goes. So I mean, I spoke with one of my aunts a couple months ago, and when we was having a conversation, um, as far as looks, even on both ends, male to female, female to male, however you want to put it. Um, and one of the things that came up is that once everything is gone, if the money is gone, if that is the base and the root of your relationship, and once the looks fade, you know, what is your foundation? And I've said it for a long time that a lot of these relationships don't have a solid foundation. They don't. They don't. So this is why it's easy for men who have money and who have status. It's easy for them to upgrade to a younger model once their wives or their significant others lose their beauty and looks and their body. It's easy because the foundation was superficial. The foundation was superficial. It's easy for a woman to leave a man once she doesn't get instant gratification and go on to the next prominent man with wealth, with resources. It's easy for her to do that because there's no solid foundation. So this is what we're manifesting. It goes back to the question of the evening. What in your life, have you manifested out of ego, fears, and insecurities? You know what the song say? Get the head, get the cash, and excuse me. Oh man. If family, if you listen to the songs, it lets you know where we are when it comes to our relationships. The songs let you know. Songs let you know. Got songs out there, women talking about, if you ain't got the bag, you can't hit. So now you are a passive aggressive prostitute. And then, see, I don't know if women understand. I don't know if women care. But because men compartmentalize so well how you carry yourself as a woman, what you show us as a woman is where we compartmentalize you at. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's how we compartmentalize you as a woman. So for those women who are out here who wants a particular status, but yet you are the complete opposite of that, but then get mad when a man shows you that you are exactly who and what you say, who and what you are, how you gonna get mad at us? Because just like men and women want to get chosen, however, whatever that may look like to you. Because I thought at the end of the day, the end goal was marriage. I thought at the end of the day, the end goal was marriage, to build a legacy, to build a family, and to build something that you can pass down to your lineage and to generations on. I thought relationships, that was the end goal. So I mean, I don't know, family. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm just here to ask questions. Um, because it looks like to me that we're going in the opposite direction. We're going in the opposite direction, family. So what type of energy are you giving off? What type of energy are you giving off? I think I manifested the bad relationship with my son through fear and thought before he got here. Almost definitely. That, as a parent, because our children are oftentimes the closest thing to our heart, they oftentimes teach us the greatest of lessons. Because our children will let us know if we are a good parent or not. And based on what other people say about your children, will let you know if you are a good parent or not. And that, I mean, I know that we don't we run from the truth oftentimes, and it's a hard reality. Um, but I think that's what needs to be dealt with. We want the good, the feel good, and the uplifting message and the confirmation. And we don't want to deal with what is actually holding us back. Brother, I had last year I had a conversation with one of the elders chronologically, but unfortunately, maturely, he is still that of a child, because he has a hard time understanding that everything that he is and was, because he hasn't changed who he is as of yet, is who his children are showing him who he is. But it's his children's fault, and he takes no accountability of it. And one thing my father has always taught us, all of me and my siblings, is that at the end of the day, I have to live with the decisions that I make. Yes, it will affect others who are in close proximity of me. But at the end of the day, I'm stuck with me. So if a relationship is not right, I can't blame them. I got to take accountability to the fault that I play into that relationship. How are you surrounded by toxic and negative people, and you have the choice and the decision to leave, whether they're family or not? I don't care. So if you still deal with family, friends, coworkers, employees, employers that are toxic, but yet you don't see an issue with that, you don't see an issue with you being around them because you trying to be the light, you just might be in the problem. You might be the problem. So I always ask people, if you look at all of your relationships, what do they have in common? When you find the common thread, what part of that denominator do you play? Because, like my sister said, people don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work. They want you to do all the work, and then they want to take the credit for the work that you do. They want you to come in their life and have accomplished self-awareness, accomplished God realization, accomplish everything that you speak, you manifest, and they just want to be they just want to take advantage of the work that you've put in, which is egotistical and selfish. And unfortunately, family, most of our relationships are egotistical, selfish, fear-based and driven, and insecurity confirmation bias. And that's what we look for. We want somebody to protect our insecurities. So I mean, and I know some of y'all have found what y'all think is the perfect mate because they protect all of your insecurities. And I mean, if you believe that they're the one, fine. I'm not here to tell you any different. I'm not here to tell you any different. If that's what you hold to be true. But for everyone that stopped in this evening, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Everybody that dropped comments, thank you. I love the interaction of the family always. And like I said, for those who are just tuning in, this year we are at 2 shows a week. Every Tuesday evening, I will be live on Facebook. And on Friday evenings, we're going to start off with a half an hour, I will be live on YouTube. So every week I will, post the link, the YouTube link for the family to go over and subscribe. Is my sister Rashonda in the room still? Might have to reach out to her. See if I can't get her in here with me before the month's end if she's available. But blessed New Year, family. I meant to say that at the beginning of the show, but the universe does everything in its own time. So, blessed New Year, family. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for rocking with the show, for supporting the show. And this year, we're going to work on healing, family. I know I've been building up to this every year. We have a particular thing, but this year, we need to heal. We need to heal individually. We need to heal our relationships. So this year, I'm going to make you question your life. I'm going to make you question your whole entire life. But I love y'all. Until next time. Thank you for joining in for another Candid Conversation. Once again, I'm your host, Mark D. Before we close, go get this sister's book. Hear Me Out, Aries Owens. Follow her here on Facebook. Go over to IG and follow her. Subscribe to her pages. Cop that book. I'm telling y'all, cop the book. I love the way it was written, cop it. Also, once again, giving a shout out to the homie Gary Crenshaw at the G Spot Detailing over on IG. Also go and follow me and the homie Rodney Dukes at Polish 'em Off ADC on IG. Also giving a shout out to my sister Jessica at Naya Marie on IG. And I can't forget the young brother. I didn't shout him out at the beginning of the broadcast. But also, man, my young brother, my younger brother, Don. You can follow him at Megadon216. I'm proud of him and his wife and the things that they're doing. The young man is a grinder and a hustler. His energy, I'm telling y'all, if y'all ever get a chance and the opportunity to meet this young brother in person, he is, I promote him and I push him. Surf Club 216, cop your t-shirt from him. He's just so humble. This young man is so humble with all the things that he has his hands in conversation with him. There's no ego at all. No arrogance, no haughtiness. The young brother is truly humble. And that's something to be said, especially in today's society, unfortunately. And also my another one of my brothers, Fred Council Jr. If you're looking for production, if you're looking for beats, if you're looking for a songwriter, go and follow him at fconthebeats.com. You can go over IG and follow him at fconthebeats. But like I said, once again, it's been another episode of Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Mark D. I will see y'all on Friday. Love you. Deuces. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, oh, gone. Why you want to tell me that there was a home in there, man?